I think y'all know what time it is. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show! I am your host, Andrew Illy! And this is the Bowl of Truth, man. Episode 29. Thank you very much for joining me. Wherever you are around the world. Wherever you are, you silly motherfuckers. Thank you very much, guys, for joining me once again on the return of the Ball of Truth Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Illy, and man, it's been a while. It's been a good month, and it's been a good break away from everything, man, and we're going to get straight back into business. As you saw in the intro, I hope you enjoyed, man. What an incredible night that was. Tremendous. Absolutely tremendous by the Socceroos, man. Oh, I was so proud. Woke up at 2 a.m. watching this game, half asleep. And man, the game nearly put me to sleep, to be honest. But in the first half, we'll get into that. But man, before we get into anything, guys, we've got to plug the social medias, eh? Let's get stuck into it. So we've got Instagram, balloftruth.pod, and we've got Twitter, balloftruth_pod. You can follow me on both of them, guys. And of course, we've got to say thanks to our sponsor, Sunnyside Sliced. www.sunnysidesliced.com.au. Check them out. Look at my boy Ali, just a sexy man with that sexy pizza. Unreal, man. You got to go check it out. Now they do subs as well during lunch times. And if you can see that picture bottom left, amazing deliciousness, man. Go check them out. And we're back, man. Jesus Christ, let's talk about last night and this World Cup match between the Aussies and Denmark. So, the first match, man, the Socceroos got off to a flying start. 1-0 up against France. And then from there, it kind of capitulated. And it just went all downhill. And I was thinking the same. Everyone was thinking the same. We're like, yeah, we're doomed. That's it. You know, no one really knew much about these players and what they're made of. A lot of them are in leagues where teams you wouldn't even have heard of, really. So, come Saturday night, after that loss and everyone's on their back, hammering them, man. I was a critic. I'll admit, I'll put my hand up. I always admit when I'm wrong. And I had no faith in them at all. But leading up to the Tunisia game on Saturday night, I don't know, man. I had a funny feeling. I said it to the boys that I watched with. I said, man, I got a funny feeling they're just, backs against the wall, nothing to lose. I just had a feeling that Socceroos could do something. Something. And man, that was a brilliant performance. Fully deserved the 3 points. We won 1-0 over Tunisia. And you could see that whole squad, man. It was united. There was lots of passion. And everyone cared, and everyone got stuck in. Kind of like Saudi Arabia when they upset Argentina in the first game of the tournament. Or for them. And, man, there was just something in the air, and the energy was there. Good morale around. And the boys, got to give them all the credit, man, in the world. They stuck to their guns. They're not the most flashy players. They've got no big names. But, man, they played together as a team. And one player in particular, Harry Souttar, centre-back for the Aussies. I've been very, very impressed with him, man. And I'll be very shocked if no one snaps that guy up from Stoke City. He is awesome. The guy is built like a brick shithouse. He's 198 centimetres tall. And he can move. He's agile. His tackles are amazing. And he saved us with a few goal-saving tackles against Tunisia on Saturday night. And again, last night, against Denmark, man. But if you looked at this group at the start of the tournament or before the tournament, you're like, there's absolutely no way. There's no way the Socceroos will get through. And man, even after the first game, you're just like, yeah, 100%, not happening. But to win the next 2 games, 1-0, 2 clean sheets, oh man, I could not be prouder, and it's hard not to be. Even if you're not a fan of the Aussies and you're not Australian, man, you got to give them all the credit in the world. I am super happy, man, and stoked. We've got Argentina on Sunday, and that's an early kickoff. Man, look, I'm not expecting anything at all. But you just never know. You just never know, man. Argentina, clear-cut favourites for that one. But, man, nah. There's just no way. It's probably going to be 8-0 Argentina, let's be real. But, man, what an achievement to get through to the last 16. I am so freaking proud, man. Amazing achievement. Amazing. And Matthew Leckie with that counter-attack goal in the 60th minute, as you saw, man. Oh, I jumped off my seat because 2 minutes earlier, Tunisia hit the lead against France, who dropped all their players for this game because they've already qualified. They didn't give a fuck. And they played their second string side, which I don't like that, man. But I get it from where they're coming from. I mean, if we were in that position, I'd be like, all right, rest our best players as well. The tournament's very compact, man. You got to play a lot of games. So I get it. But I don't know, man. I'd like to see something in the future where we can prevent that from happening. Because, I mean, if we got a draw against Denmark and we had to rely on that result, and I know you should never rely on other results, but man, you know what I'm trying to say here. It's a bit unfair that they dropped their whole squad. You want the best against the best at all times. So, look, I don't think anything will change, but we'll see. We'll see, man. It's an interesting conversation to have in these tournaments, that one. But man, overall, oh my God, absolutely stoked. And look, man, we haven't been through to this stage since the Harry Kewell days, back when we beat Croatia. And that was an amazing one. Then we lost to Italy, of course, when Grozzo dived in the box. Got to mention the cheeky jab at the Italians. But but man, it's been a long time coming. No one expected this. Absolutely amazing stuff. Fantastic. And I'm pumped, absolutely pumped for Sunday against Argentina. I reckon we might have probably 3% ball possession, but man, it's just going to be an exciting watch because we're the complete underdogs. And even in this match, man, Denmark pretty much dominated the game. If you look at the stats, the shots were okay. Like, we kind of crept back in the second half. Possession-wise throughout the game, 69-31, that says it all. And look at the passes, 664 to 304, man. But everything else was pretty even from there. More corners, obviously, for Denmark, who, man, they were nothing special at all. I really thought they would be, ready to go and firing, but they weren't great. I wasn't impressed by them at all. I was more impressed by the Aussies and the spirit that they showed, man. But in that first half, man, I should mention, whoa, that was very, very frustrating to watch. It was like watching the two worst A-League teams going at it. Just the quality in that final third. Players were nervous, you could tell, and they were shitting themselves, man, with that final ball, just doing random shit that made no sense, and rushing, and just needed a bit of composure. And I think Graham Arnold had a good chat to him second half because we were much better. And you know what? We stuck to our defences, caught him on the counter. Brilliant goal, man. Brilliant goal. Great finish by Leckie. If you want to see it again, I'll show it right now. Test it.
Embraces the moment for the Socceroos.
Unreal scenes, man. I thought he did too much at one stage and I got scared that he fucked it. But man, what a goal. What a goal. I literally jumped off the bed. It was amazing. Man, you got to see the scenes at the final whistle. After that goal, Denmark didn't really do much, but our defense held very strong, and I wasn't very worried at all that Denmark could, there was a few nervous moments, don't get me wrong, a few corners that left some players unmarked for Denmark, but have a look at this, guys. That's Federation Square. Unbelievable, man. If that doesn't get you pumped for Sunday, I don't know what will. You're fucking mauling time if you're not excited about that. Man, look, I know that we pretty much virtually have 1% chance against Argentina. But I don't care. I'm fucking excited, man. And so should you. You should be as well. That's it for the World Cup. We'll probably cover more after Sunday. And we're going to review that match, definitely. And more of the World Cup as well. Because there's still games to go in this in the third round of the group stage. So we'll get to that. But man, that should be wrapped up in the next couple of days. What I wanted to speak about is a follow-up from episode 28. If you have not seen it, go back and check it out, man. I covered the truth about Ronaldo and the situation before the big interview that everyone was talking about. Go check it out because there's a lot of truth bombs in there. And I called it, man. I fucking called it. I knew exactly what's going on. I've been following Cristiano Ronaldo my whole life, man. I never met him, but I know that dude. I know that man personally. I'm telling you. Everything I said last episode was spot on. You could just see it. I'm no freaking scientist or psychiatrist or anything like that. But you can just tell, man. It takes a bit of common sense to figure it out. But we're going to get stuck into it. Piers Morgan held an interview with Cristiano Ronaldo, man. And there was a lot of tension and a lot of build up to this. Because he's dropping bombshells of saying Erik ten Hag doesn't respect Erik ten Hag, and all the standard media sites are freaking hammering it without even watching it yet. I'm telling you now, man, this interview wasn't even that bad at all. But we're going to cover it. So I got to go through to my notes, guys. There are two parts to this interview. It happened over 2 nights. So we'll cover the first one straight off the bat. Cristiano Ronaldo pretty much opens this interview and reiterates many times how much he loves the Manchester United fans. And I love him no matter what. And there's some people out there that are really angry and blah, blah, blah. But I'm here to tell you, relax. It's absolutely fine. This man, Cristiano Ronaldo, is a fucking genius. And I'll tell you guys why. But let's get into it. Piers asked him about the potential signing of City before he came to United. And he mentioned that Sir Alex Ferguson, our former coach obviously, and one of the best managers of all time, was a big part of talking him out of that. And, you know, because he was considering going for Champions League glory, title glory, and United at that stage weren't really in it, in the title hunt. But they were in the Champions League, so he's like, yeah, all right. Came to his senses, signed up. Piers asked him about his debut game where he scored a double against Newcastle and how emotional that was for him. And it was an amazing, amazing game, man. Everything was going well and it was such a special moment and a good welcome back for Cristiano when he first signed up. He jokingly admitted he was happy he broke the world record over Messi in terms of shirt sales because within 24 hours it was completely sold out of him signing at Manchester United. So that was a crazy stat there. After a few weeks, Ronaldo said things started to change a little bit. The energy and the feeling in the air wasn't the same. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got sacked a couple of months later, a couple of months after Ronaldo got signed to the club. So that threw a spanner in the works. We covered that in the first episode, I'm pretty sure, of The Ball of Truth when Ronaldo had a big interview last time on Optus Sport. Anyway, he spoke about things about the club and how not much at the club had changed at all. The technology, the infrastructure, it all surprised him and he didn't expect it. But it wasn't a good surprise, and he found it tough to comprehend how backwards the club was and how it hadn't really moved on at all. He went on to say how important Fergie and Gill were, David Gill, were when he was there, and he was shocked at the state of the club when they left. Because when they left, it all went to shit, pretty much. So He mentioned the pool, the jacuzzi still being the same, like same little errors or whatever the fuck it was. The gym, same equipment, run down. The kitchen, run down. It's like he said they stopped in time. So Manchester United stopped in time. And it's been a good 10 to 12 years since he was there, man. So don't forget that. And Ronaldo in that time has been to Juventus, Real Madrid, obviously. And he said they have followed the way of the world in terms of technology and all that stuff. Diet. He mentioned diet. That was a big one. And players going on diets. So yeah, man, a whole decade of a gap between returning to Manchester United, and things were still the same way they were when he left. I mean, that's very disappointing, man. Very disappointing. So he mentioned there's zero progress and zero evolution of the club since Fergie left. And he went on to speak about Ralph Rangnick's appointment. Piers asked him about that and how ridiculous it was that a sports director was chosen as manager. And Ronaldo said it was a mistake from the club. Who made this decision? What is going on there? Nobody knew who he was. Ronaldo still respected him. He called him boss. But deep inside, he said that he never saw him as a boss, like a manager. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to drink some water. My mouth's drier than the Sahara Desert. All right. So, speaking about Rangnick, and he wasn't really that impressed with him as a manager. He respects that coaches have a different approach, different tactics, and he will come across one that he'll disagree with. Erik ten Hag, which we'll get to. Piers asked Ronaldo if Ralph knew what he was doing. Ronaldo hesitated and said no. He was then asked about Ollie, if he should have stayed on. Ronnie said he loved Ollie and he was a good coach. But I think even Ronaldo in that moment knew that Ollie had to step away because of the results and everything was piling shit on him. So he didn't say it, but he knew that Ollie needed to go in that stage. But in hindsight, thinking about it now, man, probably should have kept Ollie. Piers asked him about the younger players. And we've mentioned this on this show, but this is really, really interesting. Listen to what Cristiano Ronaldo says here. And I quote, "They live in a different era. Their mentality is not the same. The biggest difference is hunger. They don't suffer and they don't care. It's not the same as my generation. It's part of life. New technology distracts them." Episode 1 of The Ball of Truth, man, we spoke about this too. And it's so true, man. Seriously, the way that social media has impacted these young players, they've got it easy. And like Ronaldo said, there's no hunger and no suffering. They don't know what it's like to hurt. But they know these phones, man. It's such a distraction. And I couldn't agree with him more. Cristiano Ronaldo learnt from Roy Keane, Ryan Giggs, Rio Ferdinand, all these big players, man. And they helped him maintain longevity in his career. The guy's 37 years old, and he's got a better body than an 18-year-old. Like, it's ridiculous, man. He said most players, he loves giving advice to the young players, but some of them don't listen. And some of them don't care. Very few care. But he said, and he spoke highly of Diego Dallo, and Lisandro Martinez from Argentina, our centre-back. He mentioned those two as ones who he likes and, you know, that listen to him and care and take in his advice. And man, why wouldn't you want to take advice from the GOAT? Like, come on. But, like you said, different world, man, different era. So, they kind of switch it up and it gets a bit personal, man. Ronnie, and it's very important that we mention this because this impacted everything, as we mentioned last week. Ronnie and his partner Georgina had twins, a boy and a girl. They lost the boy at birth. Ronaldo described it as the worst moment in my life. And how crazy it was because they should be celebrating the life of his baby girl. But they are mourning the death of their baby boy at the same time. An absolute crazy situation. And man, I don't want to imagine what that was like, but no matter who you are, that's a very, very difficult a difficult ordeal to deal with, man. And how do you even play after that, especially that soon? Piers asked Ronaldo about the media criticism of him. Ronaldo called most of them garbage and constantly lie and don't tell the truth. He doesn't pay attention because he doesn't want it to affect his family, which we'll get to in a sec because it really did. Piers asked him about Wayne Rooney's criticism of him. Ronaldo didn't understand that situation as it's only been 6 months since Rooney asked his kids to play with Ronaldo's kids and he came over to the house. So Ronaldo was a bit upset by that. Ronaldo said Roy Keane was his best captain ever and Rio Ferdinand was very supportive and he was basically his next door neighbour for a long time. And man, that was pretty much it for the first half of the interview. It's very mild, didn't get really into the nitty gritty stuff, but here is where it really gets interesting. Ronaldo said his motivations for football, or motivations just in general in life, are not money. The guy has all the money in the world. He said football is now a business. They treat players like a piece of meat. He's realised, especially over the last few years, how much it's changed. And the passion is still the same for football itself, but it's more of a machine per se nowadays, he said. Spoke about how crooked the media is, trying to make him look like a bad guy, which they're always going to do, especially over the last few months with all the stuff going on, international media going at him and his family. He said this is where the truth comes out. He said in pre-season, whilst on vacation, one of his girls, Bella, had a serious issue of bronchitis. She spent the whole week in hospital. This is right after the death of his daughter, so they're already freaking out that the daughter's sick. And the media kept hammering him during this stage. When he told the United higher-ups the situation, Ronaldo explained that, and I quote, they kind of didn't believe anything was wrong. And showed no empathy and didn't care. That's very disappointing, man. You don't want people like that in your club. Family is everything. And you know what? When it comes to a player's family, if I was running a club, I would be like, man, go for it. Football second. Family number one. Ronaldo was struggling mentally, and that's why he didn't attend pre-season. He needed to be with his family, and he explained how important that was. He felt uncomfortable with how they didn't believe him when he told them the situation. It made him very sad. And that's important, man, because imagine returning to a club with that hanging in the back of your mind. It's not good at all, man. You lose confidence in people through that. Piers asked him about how he left early in a preseason game. I don't know if you guys remember this. The media freaking hammered him for this. But Ronaldo explained that he, along with 8 other players, also left in a preseason game, but they singled him out only. Every year, players do the same thing in preseason friendlies. Now we get to the Spurs game, the infamous walk-off. Piers asked Ronaldo about Ten Hag. Ronaldo understood Ten Hag stamping a bit of authority walking into the club. The communication and empathy was not good with Ronaldo, he said. I didn't think he respects me the way I deserve, but it is what it is. That's what Ronaldo said about Ten Hag. Piers asked him about the Manchester City game also, and how he how Ten Hag had too much respect for Ronaldo to bring him on when we're getting hammered 4-0 at halftime. And Ronaldo's response was, it's all excuses. He doesn't want to criticize too much, but it happened too many times prior to that. Then he wants to bring me on with 2 minutes to go against Spurs, which is the total opposite mentality with the Man City game. So he was just explaining that. And we spoke about this last week as well. Before Ronaldo's interview, I mentioned that. Ronaldo said he felt provoked and disrespected, and it was done on purpose. Ronaldo knows and understands he won't be at United beyond this season. Man, before I get into the rest, this interview, Ronaldo knew exactly what he was doing, man. It's calculated. The guy's very smart. He knew what this interview meant, which I'll get to. He felt no respect in the last few months leading up to this interview. he does not regret leaving the stadium and getting suspended, but he didn't feel... he does regret leaving the stadium and getting suspended because he was very upset that he got suspended, but he didn't feel any respect towards him and the bad communication between club, manager, higher-ups. He's never experienced that before anywhere, he said. It was almost humiliating. Ronaldo said, he felt like he shouldn't have been suspended because it caused a fire in the media, which is very true, man. That kind of made things worse, but probably done by design. If you don't have respect for me, then I'm not going to have respect for you, Ronaldo said. He also added that any top player who has done what he's done in the game would do exactly the same thing in his position. Ten Hag lies to the press that he likes Ronaldo, but Ronaldo said he's only saying that just for the press. So Ronaldo knew all the bullshit that was happening, and which probably led him to everything which we'll get into. The owners of the club, the Glazers, don't care about the club or professional sport. Ronaldo said that. They only care about money. He's never spoken a word to them. One of the reasons United are not at the top level starts with them and the structure of the club. Very powerful stuff, man. This is the GOAT, one of the best players of all time, saying this about these owners. And everyone, it's well documented how bad these owners are. They don't give a fuck, man. It's very sad. And we need to get rid of them. Which, again, I'll get to that. Piers asked if he would be at United at Ronaldo after the World Cup. So he'd asked if he would be at United after the World Cup, Ronaldo, without saying no, which he couldn't tell at the time, basically said his focus is just the World Cup. Now we know, the news came out that he's leaving. Piers mentioned how he finished last season starting every game, scoring 25 goals, scoring hat-tricks. And he's like, what happened this season? And Ronaldo laughed and he said, pre-season, as the excuse given by the club. Admitting, though, he said he was less motivated after everything that happened, which is absolutely normal in his situation. When asked if he's after a new challenge, Piers asked him if he's after a new challenge. He said, he mentioned maybe it's good that they part ways. Ronaldo already had it in his mind that he's leaving after this interview. Everyone knows it. Not in those words, he said, but he said if he stays, which we know now he won't, he would have been committed, as always, and a true professional. They spoke again about the lies in the media and saying nobody wants Cristiano Ronaldo like other teams, which was a lie. He's like, I don't want to sound cocky, but day by day we are getting old and you have to adapt to these conditions and the game. Nobody in this game can adapt with my brain at this age. I'm smart enough to know my strengths, what I'm able to do. I'm playing at the highest level, especially when my mind is clear and happy. And I will continue scoring goals, especially if I'm supported by those people around me. Very important, man. If you're motivated and you're feeling good about life, good things will happen. And you got to surround yourself with good people, man. And if you don't, bad shit happens. It's difficult, he said, it's difficult to be your normal self when these things don't happen. He spoke about the energy from other people, surrounding himself with good people. He's as fit as ever. He said he's ready to go for the World Cup. And he's already scored a goal. Got one that he thought was his, but it was actually Bruno Fernandes's. The fans are always the answer, he says. They will always have a place in my heart, even the ones who criticise me. I haven't spoken to Sir Alex in a month, but he's on my side. He knows where the club is, and also a lot of people share the same view now. He also mentioned he'd be happy to have dinner with Messi, open to it. Said wonderful things about him as a footballer. He's amazing. And went on to talk about Jordan Peterson and how he's an inspiration in his life, and Tom Brady. And that's kind of where it went off, man. But few things here. Ronaldo knew he was leaving. He did this on purpose. He wanted to get out. He knew it was the best thing for Manchester United and the best thing for him. And he's a very smart man to do it this way, because he knows that is his gateway out. He's probably going to lose 16 million, which No, he does not give a fuck about, man. The guy's got all the money in the world. I think a Saudi team, Saudi Arabia, offered him like 300 million a week, man. The guy is just like, it's raining money on this dude, you know. And if you got that much money, then Jesus Christ. I was going to show you guys one thing, but it's absolutely gone now. I'm pretty upset. That's something funny planned and it's gone. God damn it. I might have to save that for the next episode. But anyway, man, yeah. I'm so gutted. Absolutely shattered. You guys would have got a good laugh out of that. I was leading up to it and everything. But anyway, save that for episode 30. Like I said, man, I'm happy. I'm very happy with this interview. Ronaldo doesn't owe anyone shit. Doesn't owe United shit. It's his life, his career. He's getting towards the end. He mentioned he wanted to play till the age of 40. I really hope he gets a good club, man, and kills it. And I hope he does well in this World Cup as well, which he's doing well already. But, man, I don't understand where all the animosity is coming from towards him. The guy's done everything for us. These people have rocks for brains, really. He's done everything, man. He loves United. And he's doing this because he loves United. He's already triggered the Glazers to sell because of this interview. That's how much he cares. And it's true, man. The Glazers are up for, putting the club up for sale. Thank God. We need them out of there. We need good people. And it's good that he's exposed some of these creatures, man, in this club. One of the other things I failed to mention, there's a quote that I've got to find, man. I'll just quickly... I totally missed this. Ronaldo said this: "You have to destroy it to rebuild it. And if it starts with me, that's fine." That told me Ronnie knew exactly what he was doing with this interview. And he knew he was done. And, man, in a weird, crazy way, he is putting the club first here because he knows he needs to leave. The club can't handle him. It's funny, right? A lot of people would hammer me for saying this, but you know how they say no man is bigger than the club? Sometimes they are, man. And in this case, seriously, and not in an ego way, I mean in a business way, Cristiano Ronaldo is probably bigger than any club. But it's on that club to know how to handle it. And we didn't handle him right at all. I understand where Erik ten Hag's coming from. But at the same time, man, he's earned his respect and you got to be a bit more lenient towards the guy. It didn't work out. Ronaldo knew it wasn't going to work out and problems were going to persist and continue. And he didn't want that for United. He didn't want that for himself. So he said, fuck it. I'm going to do this interview. I'm getting out of here. It's the best thing for both parties. They mutually agreed to leave. Got his contract exhausted. Bang. Game over. United move on. Ronaldo moves on. Happy days. There is nothing to worry about. This will be fantastic for us now that we have all that media bullshit out of the way. Ronaldo's presence out of the way. Because it was becoming a negative thing and Ronaldo realised it, man. Time to get out. I love him. Thank you, Ronnie, for everything, man. And I will always continue to love him. He is one of the GOATs. For me, my favourite player of all time. And, man, that's pretty much it. There you go. He's going to go do some big, great things again. And hopefully he wins a World Cup, but I don't think so. It's going to be quite interesting, this World Cup, man. Speaking of, I don't know who the clear-cut favourite is. Some people are saying Brazil, some saying France. I don't know. Could see an upset. Could see the Netherlands come out of nowhere and go bang. Well, whoever wins out of Australia and Argentina will verse the winner of Netherlands and USA. And we've got to assume that's Netherlands. So, Jesus Christ, tough task, man. Guys, that's all from me today. We've gone on 36 minutes, so thank you for sticking by me. I just wanted to cover that Cristiano Ronaldo stuff because we pretty much based the whole show on this whole Ronaldo thing. It started with episode 1 and it's come full circle now, episode 29. that's it for him. I wish him all the best. I wish that, it didn't go down that way, the way it did. But things will be great. And I'm telling all United fans out there, do not worry. Everything's going to be good. But we need to get some strikers. Couple of strikers, couple of wingers. And let's see what happens in the second half of the year. We'll cover more of that later on. The Truth and the Lie will be back next week for episode 30. There's going to be a big confrontation between those two. The Lie reviewed the AFL Women's Grand Final, which we'll get to on the next episode. Some funny stuff there. And I'm absolutely gutted that my joke didn't come up, man. I could... Nah, I'll save it. I'll save it for next week. Guys, thank you very much for being here. I hope you enjoyed the show. I love you all. I will see you guys very soon. We'll review the Argentina-Australia game on Sunday and more World Cup stuff to come. And the more funny shit will come as well. But man, that's all from me. Adios. Goodbye.